St. Mark, the 5th chapter. For your personal understanding, I encourage you to read verses 1 through 20. I'm going to read one verse, and that's verse 9. The Gospel of St. Mark, chapter 5, and I am reading verse 9. And he asked him, "What is thy name?" And he answered, saying, "My name is Legion, for we are many." Amen. I want to talk on the subject, what is your name? What is your name? Thank you, ushers. I am always in awe at the power of the Lord to change lives. It is God's way and his ability to bring a change in the lives of people that others thought could not be changed. I'm sure that there are those of us in here who can say that there have been times we have said or have been tempted to say concerning certain folks that they ain't gonna never change. But God is able to change anybody. In our text today, we see a man that perhaps many thought, and from looking at him, many would be tempted to believe that he would never change. Some had even perhaps thought that there's no hope for this man. When we look at him, the scripture describes him as a man who had an unclean spirit. Jesus and his disciples had come across the Sea of Galilee. They had come through a storm. And the Lord went through all of that just to get to this man. As the record would reveal, there would only be one soul that the Lord would save and change, and that would be this man in this particular location. The Lord came all the way across the sea through a storm just to reach this man. One soul matters to God. One soul is worth going through the trouble so that that person can be saved. Oh, brothers and sisters, listen, some of you may not be aware of what the Master has already done so that you and I could be saved. Jesus hung up his garments in the closet of eternal glory, caught a boat in glory, rode the sea of destruction for 9 long months, got off in Bethlehem of Judea one cold December night, walked the dusty hills of Judea, went about healing the sick, raising the dead, giving sight to the blind, marched up a hill called Calvary with an old rugged cross on his shoulder. And they nailed him to that cross. They hung him high, stretched him wide. He paid a debt that he didn't owe. And he paid a debt that we couldn't pay. He died for our sins, our past sins, our present sins, our future sins. He was buried in a borrowed tomb. But that ain't how the story ends. Early, third day, he rose from the dead. Death couldn't keep him in the ground. He lives, and he did it all for you and me. Isaiah put it this way: he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we're healed. He did it just for you and me. He's come all the way across the sea to see about this man. When you read these verses, this man was looked upon as a maniac. He was crazy. He was what some would consider a wild man. And we can't look down on him because some of us have been wild. Don't be fooled by the fact that we love the Lord now. If many of us would just be honest, it hasn't always been this way. We've been wild. Are you praying with me? We've had some wild thoughts. We've had some wild actions. We've even said some wild things. Gone to some wild places. Hung out with some wild and crazy people. We know about wild. He was considered wild. We look at him, something is wrong with him. The text said he lived in a cemetery. He lived where folk were dead, where folk were buried. He lived in a graveyard. And you know something wrong when a person will take up residence in a cemetery. He lived where the dead folk were buried. There are three types of death. There's physical death. The Bible tells us, as it is appointed unto men once to die. All of us have a death appointment. You're not here to stay. We all have a dying death. That's physical death. But then there's spiritual death. All of us, by nature, were spiritually dead. When a person is unsaved, they are spiritually dead. Ephesians 2 tells us, by nature, we were dead in trespasses and in sin. That's spiritual death. But then there is the second death. That's Revelation chapter 20, where John said, and death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. Now, blessed is he that don't ever experience the second death. Are y'all listening to me? We gonna have to die one time accept Jesus, you ain't got to die the second time. And so this man lived in a cemetery. Not only that, but the text said that they would often bind him with chains. They tried to contain him. They tried to hold him. But they couldn't do anything with him. Yes. And you know, brothers and sisters, some of us, we've had some ways nobody couldn't do anything with. Are you listening to me? They tried to shackle him, but they couldn't do anything with him. The record said that no man could tame him. And you know, man don't have the power to change anybody. Man can change you, but man can't change you. They changed, but they couldn't change. That's something that only God can do. You can't change nobody. Ain't no need of trying. You can't change. Matter of fact, you couldn't change yourself. Man could change, but he couldn't change it. But the text also said that he was always crying. He was crying day and night in that cemetery, which lets us know how miserable he was. A lot of people are miserable. You can be driving an expensive car and still be miserable. Are y'all praying with me? You can live in a nice house, sleep in an expensive bed, and still be miserable. You can be making good money and still be miserable. Rich young ruler came running to Jesus, saying, "What must I do that I may inherit eternal life?" This man was miserable. He's crying day and night. But then the man didn't have on any clothes. He was running around naked. Now you know something wrong when a person runs around with no clothes on. Are you listening to me? When we were children growing up, one of the basic lessons of life, we were taught, put on some clothes. We couldn't even go out the house unless we were properly clothed. Are y'all listening to me? There's something out of balance about a person going out without being properly clothed. Are y'all listening to me? Now, whenever you see folk running around here, not dressed right, you know something wrong with him. He was not properly clothed. But then he would cut himself. He was so miserable and so upset and had such a restlessness in his bosom that he was cutting himself. Oh, this man was in bad shape. Thank God Jesus came along. Jesus showed up and told that unclean spirit, "Come out of that man." And oh, the record says, my brothers and my sisters, that the unclean spirit asked permission to enter into the swine. But Jesus, before he gave that unclean spirit permission, he asked him a question. He said, "What is your name?" Now the Lord knew his name, but the Lord wanted him to be honest. He said, "What is your name?" Names meant something. Are y'all with me here? People understood the significance of names because names had a meaning. Abram's name was changed to Abraham, meaning father of many nations. Isaac Isaac's name meant laughter. When God told Abraham, you're going to have a baby, you and Sarah, in your old age, he laughed with joy. Sarah laughed in unbelief. God said, well, your baby going to be named Isaac, which means laughter. Moses' name means drawn out of water. Am I right about it? Jacob's name means supplant, heel catcher, trickster. Simon's name was changed to Peter. Saul's name was changed to Paul. Am I right about it? Samuel's name means asked of the Lord. There's something in a name. People gave their children names that had meaning. Not like most folk now. They just give them a name because it sounds cute. Want to be impressive. And sometimes it's a name they themselves can't even pronounce properly. Names had meaning. Jesus said, what is your name? Yes, the man said, my name is Legion. We are many. Legion was comprised of some 3,000 to 6,000 soldiers. In this case, from some 3,000 to 6,000 demons. This man's problem was he had the devil in him. Are y'all listening to me? Now there are some folk don't believe in the devil. They said that there's no such thing as a devil. But the Bible teaches that the devil is real. Am I right about it? Brothers and sisters, believe it or not, the devil is real. And the devil wreaks havoc everywhere he goes. Yes. There was a young preacher who was called to a church to be pastor. And in order for him to be the pastor, the preachers and pastors came together to form what is called the Presbyterian, to ordain him for the work of the ministry. And in order for him to be ordained, he had to answer a series of questions. And so as those preachers were questioning him, one preacher asked him, said, do you believe that the devil is real? The young preacher said, no. Said, the devil ain't real. Says, what do you say? He said, no, ain't no such thing as a devil. So they excused the young man. The preachers got to talk. Said, now look, we can't ordain this boy. He don't even believe that the devil is real. And so they were getting ready to say they're not going to ordain him, but the old preacher spoke up and said, brethren, go on, let's ordain him. He's been called to a Baptist church. He may not believe now. But give him a little time. He'll believe. Oh, y'all listen. The devil is real. And the devil will show up in people. Am I right about it? That's why you can't give the devil no room in your life. The devil want to take over. The songwriter said it well, don't let the devil ride. Yeah, don't let him flag you down. If he flag you down, he'll turn you around. Don't let him drive your car. If he drive your car, he'll take you too far. Don't give him no room. Keep him out of your life. This man has a lot of demons in him. It is believed by many this man had a demon for everything. He had a stripping demon because he ran around naked. He had a screaming demon Because the Bible says he was crying day and night in the night. He had a sanity demon because he was not at himself. Am I right? This man had a separating demon because he stayed to himself. This man had a strong demon because when they put chains and fetters on him, he was so strong he broke them off. This man had a demon for everything. Some folks still got demons. Some folks got lying demons because they lie all the time. Some folks got a cussing demon because they can't help but cuss no matter what they say. Y'all ain't praying with me. Some folks got a shacking demon. They rather shack than get mad. Yes, there are all kinds of demons. There's some gossiping demons. Some folks can't hold nothing. Demons for everything. Jesus said, what is your name? The man said, Legion. Now, brothers and sisters, that was not his real name. This man had lost his identity. And that's what happens when the devil come in. You lose your identity. Yes. And we see time and time again, folk have lost their identity. Yes. Mama told me, you're a boy. You're a male. You walk like a male. You're to talk like a male. And one day you're going to be a man. And you always be a man. Don't try to change and switch and be something else. Because be who you are. Know who you are. And be that. Some people got it mixed up. Y'all ain't praying with me. Men trying to act like women. And women trying to act like men. Be what you is. Whatever you were born with, be that. Be what you is. If God wants you to be something else, He'll call you to be born something else. Don't change nothing. I know this ain't popular, but it's the facts. Be what you is. It's not for me to wear no dresses and no bras. Oh, y'all listen to me? That stuff don't fit me. The reason why? Because I'm a man. I'm going to talk like a man. Walk like a man. Look like a man. Because that's what I is. Ain't know what I was. That's what I is. Be what you is. Some folk have lost their identity. Whatever you are, look like it. Look like it. Look like it. Dress like it. Walk like it. Act like it. Talk like it. The devil wants you to get mixed up. He wants to confuse you. Are you listening? Many churches have lost their identity. When I say church, I'm talking about congregations. Because the true church won't lose its identity. Jesus said, upon this rock, I build my church. And the gates of hell can't prevail against it. A lot of churches lost their identity. They're too worldly now. It's more about entertainment than about worship. Yes, they are more into the prosperity movement They don't preach about sin. And anytime you go to a church that don't ever preach about sin, you're in the wrong place. Man's problem is a sin problem. And we got to deal with the sin. Jesus didn't come down and die so you can get things. He came so you can have a relationship with him. Yes. What's your name? Because this man has lost his identity. What is your name? Because Jesus said, those texts said when he saw Jesus, he came running and he worshiped him. And Jesus said, look, what's your name? Now, you may fool these other fellas. You're running up to me, bowing down to me, recognizing who I am as the Son of the Most High God. You may fool these other fellas with all that. But I know who you are. What's your name? Are y'all listening to me? God knows when you're faking and shaking. Are y'all praying with me? He knows when you're not authentic. And he said, look here, you might fool these other fellas, these disciples of mine, making them think that you got it together. But listen, I want you to tell us your name. He said, my name is Legion. And we are many. I'm a devil. Are y'all listening to me? And oh, brothers and sisters, because one name has a lot to say about their character. One's name has a lot to say about their conduct. Has a lot to say about their behavior. And Jesus said, what's your name? I'm almost through. Now, if a name says something about our character, says something about our conduct, says something about how we think, then the question is, what is your name? If a name reflects your character, your conduct, your thinking, how you treat people, what's your name? If a name represents how you live, how you carry yourself, the question is, what's your name? I don't care what's on your birth certificate. I don't care what mom and daddy called you. According to your action, according to your lifestyle, according to your morals, what's your name? Need to look at yourself and see what your name is. If you are an adulterer, that's your name. If you're a fornicator, that's your name. If you're a sinner on your way to hell, that's your name. Are y'all listening to me? One's actions, one's conduct, one's character, yes, reflects their name. No wonder he said, what is your name? He said, my name is Legion. We're many. Jesus said, come out of the man. And the other man said, well, Jesus, don't destroy us. But there's some swine feeding nearby. Give us permission to go into the swine. The Lord gave them permission. They entered into the swine according to the record. And the record said those swine ran down a hill violently. And oh, my brothers and my sisters, the record says there were approximately 2,000 pigs. And the herdmen saw everything that happened. Yes, when these demons entered into the pigs, they choked in the sea. Someone has said it's almost like the pig was saying, we'd rather die than let the devil live in us. You know, the devil want to always be in something or be in somebody. And so, my brothers and sisters, it behooves us to keep the devil out of our lives. And so, as I close here The record says that the people went back and told the townsfolk about what happened to the man and to the swine. And they came out there to where Jesus was. And the record said that they saw Jesus and the man who was demon possessed. The record said they saw him sitting. The man now has peace of mind because he's not running around hollering like he was at first. The Lord gave him peace. The man now has proper behavior because the record said he is clothed. Everybody can look at him and tell he's no longer the same. The man has perspective because the record says he's in his right mind. In other words, the man now has a positive outlook on life. He don't think the way he used to think. Am I right about it? But the Lord also gave the man purpose. Because when they told Jesus, we want you to leave our country, the man said, Lord, take me with you. But the Lord said, no, I don't want you to go with me. But I want you to go home to your friends and tell them what great things the Lord has done for you. And you know, that's what it's all about. If the Lord has done anything for you, you need to go and tell somebody. If the Lord has opened doors for you, you need to go and tell somebody. If the Lord has made a way for you, you need to run and tell somebody. If the Lord has changed your life, you need to run and tell somebody. If you know he's good, you need to run and tell somebody. If you know he's a way maker, you need to go tell somebody. Have I got a witness? We need to have a made up mind that says, I'll tell it wherever I go. Ain't God all right? Well, I'm through now, y'all. But when the story ended, we still don't know the man's real name. Did you hear me? I said we still to this day don't know the man's real name. Yeah, and the truth of the matter is it ain't gonna matter that we don't know his name. But there is another name that you got to know. It's the only name whereby anybody can be saved. It's a name that'll soothe your doubts and calm your fears. It's a name that'll get you off the street corner. It's a name that'll save your soul. It's a name that's above every name. At the name of Jesus, every knee must bow and every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. Anybody here know anything about that name? His name is Jesus. Have I got a witness? There's power in his name. There's peace in his name. Everything you need is in his name. Ain't God all right? I'm glad today I'm called by his name. Yes, I may not have much, but I'm so glad I got his name. Ain't God all right? Can't nobody do me like Jesus. Yeah, oh yeah. Jesus made his baby. Jesus mowed his burning bush. Jesus Jeremiah's balm in Gilead. Jesus Job's horse poured in the valley. Jesus John's bright and morning star. He's everything. Anybody believe it? He's everything. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I want to extend an invitation. Come to Jesus, come by love. My Christian experience, come as a like you did.